it's good to finally get you here. You know what I'm saying? You know, you stop messing with me for a while, man. You know what I'm
Never that, bro. You know much better than that.
saying? So, I actually really just want to start from the beginning, man. Cause like when people think about recording studios, or they think about, well, mainly when people think about recording studios or DJs, um, you know, back in the day, one of the first names come up is yours. You know, I don't know. I remember you told me back in the day used to go by Kid Majic Rock.
That's correct. That's correct.
So how did it go from Kid Majic Rock to? It's crazy because people call you like three different names: Kid Magic, Kid, Kid Magic Rock. You know what I'm saying? It's like all these different names. You know what I'm saying? So, how did the name Kid Magic or Kid Magic Rock even come about?
So back in the day, in the dinosaur days, I used to play basketball, and this is when the Lakers was out with Magic Johnson, and I was a big fan of Magic Johnson. So I was like, well, what would Magic call his son? And then I was like, Magic Kid, and I was like, nah, that don't sound right. Then I was like, Kid Magic, like a little Magic. So I was balling at Driving Park, and I went by Kid Magic. That's how I got the name.
So once what made you, or how did you even get started to like want to DJ? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you said you was playing basketball first, right?
Yeah, it was the furthest thing from my mind. I was playing basketball, I was balling, Driving Park, and this family came down, and I was shooting with them at Kent School, and they was from New York, and they had the fat shoestrings, the Adidas and the Pumas and all that stuff, way before it really caught on in Columbus. And one of the family members, Ricky, after we played ball, we went to his house, and I was walking to his house, and I heard this song Run DMC coming out of his house, and it sounded like the record was scratched. It kept like starting over. It was like the start of Run DMC Sucker MCs. It was like doom tat 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 doom tat 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 doom tat. It kept doing the same thing. I was like, damn, the record scratched. But then we went in his house, and he was mixing. He was making it start over, and I was like, damn, I want to learn how to do that. So when I seen him doing that, that's when I just stopped balling altogether, and that's when I wanted to become a DJ. From that moment on,
All
that's when I
right.
that's when I got the bug.
So so when you initially caught the bug from that, then what was your next step? Right after you said, "Oh, that's what I want to do," but you ain't got no equipment or anything. So
Right.
what was your next step?
So I was actually playing with my mom's stereo, like trying to figure out how he was doing that, like the scratches and stuff. Like she had one of those where the record drops down and it's that long pole. So it was kind of hard. My hand kept hitting it. So and I was messing up her records. I was messing up her records in the learning process.
Yeah.
So I went to the flea market up north, um, Northern Lights when it was popping,
Yeah.
and I brought some little cheap turntables. They were like wood grain, and that's when I started really getting into it.
So at what point did you transition from scratching to opening up a recording studio?
So that was a period. The DJing hardcore period was, I would say, 80, 85, 86, on up to 96 is when I opened the studio. 96, 97 on Greenway. That was my first studio in the house.
Who was the first person you ever recorded?
I want to say the first person I ever recorded was, it's a toss up, but I think it's between INJ and Def Lock. He called himself Wiz back then. It was somewhere in between there. But I do remember the music had changed. Like I was DJing up until that point, and the music changed, and I didn't like where the music was going.
Mm.
So that's what made me open the studio. I was like, man, forget this. I'm gonna open the studio and make a difference. And that's why I opened the studio. That's the only reason I did it. That's the only reason.
Wow.
Because I didn't like how the music was going.
And what year was that?
I want to say, well, the studio opened in 96, 97.
Mm.
So like 95, like right around 95, I was like, man, I can't do this. So I fell back on. I was still DJing, but not hardcore. I start getting interested in making beats and recording people. And I want to say INJ, Def Lock, Goldie, Golden Child. Those were the first.
I remember Golden Shot. Yeah,
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 those
yeah,
those were the
yeah,
first
yeah.
artists that we actually learned together.
So, cause when I came home, um, you was on what's that?
Oakland Park.
Oakland Park before the booth, because the booth wasn't there when I first got
That's
there,
right. That's
and you
right.
was recording on the ADAT,
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
and that is crazy because how did you figure out how coming from just DJ and spinning records, how did you figure out how to record? And I mean, computers are easy now, but with
Right.
the ADAT machine, you knew how to, like, how did you figure it out? How did you know what to get the quality sound? Because this, even though it was an ADAT, like the quality sound was super
It was
dope.
really dope.
Yeah,
It was really dope.
yeah.
I had some good mentors like DJ Prime. He was the first person that I knew that had a studio. That's the first studio before I had a studio. So Prime, DJ Prime, shout outs to Prime. He, he helped me out, whenever I got stuck or something, I was like, man, how do I do this? But a lot of it came natural just from DJing because you got a mix board you got a mixer when you DJ. So now you're going to record, so it's a mixer, but a bunch of tracks. Because I started out, like you said, the ADAS analog with the mixer, the Mackie mixer with the faders before the computer.